Bless you. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, you got a mess going on there.
I know, right?
Look at that. You got your green wire ruler. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
Look at all those dead soldiers. Oh, did you see we got the zip ties in?
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Nice.
I know what you're going to say. Believe it or not, we've been out of zip ties. And we just got 2 bags in. We got 2 more coming. That's 1,000 zip ties. 2,000 zip ties. Yeah, I don't even want to comment on my feelings on that. But this is the zip tie drawer where we keep all of them. And we had to just like, there is no 4-inch zip ties left here, you know, because every now and then one will fall out. Oh, there's one. Oh my gosh. But we've been going through here looking for every single one of these to use. It was a tragedy, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that we ordered them 2 weeks ago, you know, that's okay. It's okay, no comment. This is what we've been working on. This is a Rally Sport Camaro. Very nice if you're into the old car thing. Oh, okay, so let's talk about old cars. Pro tip of the day, as Bobby would say. First thing you're gonna notice on a car like this is that the ground straps for it, if it has them, are gonna look like this braided piece of crap here. Usually the ends have seen better days, but these are the 2 ground straps that this car had. 2. That's it. The only ground connected in this car is this power wire that comes over here and connects to the water pump. This. That was it. That was all we had. There was a little pigtail coming off this, but it didn't go to anything. The secondary ground strap, the little tiny skinny one, was located right here. And then the long one was located right here and goes over here to the exhaust manifold. The alternator, they didn't connect the ground bolt, the secondary ground bolt on the back to anything. Their thought was, which I can understand, is that this whole housing here is a ground. This is connected into here, which is then connected to this and connected to that. So there's your ground for this car. And we've tested it. It's actually pretty decent ground for the basics. So that's why they have a bolt here. They're sharing this piece of metal as the ground plane, which is okay because we get the same amount of voltage here as there. We did a bunch of tests. However, the rest of the car was left to suffer. So what we've done is we've added a ground to here. So now that, you know, because it's a lot of bolted together parts. So, and they have a bunch of stuff grounded to this, which is just the front. So we added a ground to this. We ran another ground over to here. So that goes, this one here goes from here all the way up to the battery. And then we replaced the little dinky ground that went down here to the frame. So now you have that. And then of course we pulled this ground out and replaced that one as well. So now when the car is running, whatever's coming out of that, we're seeing over here as well as any other point on the car, which is great. So this alternator was putting out at idle like 13.79, whatever. And we were getting like 13.75 at all our ground points, which is to be expected because there is going to be some loss, but not as much as we were having when we first started. So the first thing that you have to do when you get an old car like this is update the ground plane in the car. Big 3 upgrade, head over to High 5, pick up your 0 gauge ground if you need it, but definitely you want to upgrade the ground plane. Secondly, as far as the alternator power goes, that's up to you. This case, we only have a 30 amp draw going into this, so we weren't too concerned with it. But what a lot of these cars do is you'll see you only have one power wire here. This goes down to the starter, and then off of the starter loops up here to the alternator. So depending on what you're going to be doing, if you're going to be doing a serious draw, you know, if the alternator deems it, like this is probably just a little 60, 80 amp alternator, it's nothing special. So the power wire that it has, whether we put a bigger one or not, is not going to get us anything else. But you can run a new wire over to the battery as opposed to just going down to the starter. The reason why they do that is because obviously on these older motors, the starter is going to be the thing that sucks up the most current when the car goes to start. Everything else is secondary. So you have that big power wire going down to that. Now keep in mind, I am not a mechanic. I don't know butt kiss about motors or any of this other stuff. This is just years of dealing with these headaches. The other thing too is that try to keep your power wire away from this area here. These are the spark plugs and all the noisy things. So our power wire tucks into the fender, or actually follows this power wire, then comes across the main power harness here that comes across the front of the car and comes in. Our ground wire is hidden behind the fender because we didn't want to add any more wiring to this because it looked like they tried to do a pretty good job of tucking wire out of the way. Not like perfect, but a nice job nonetheless. So we wanted to keep ours the same way. Morning from Sound Effects. What's happening? So that's what you got going on here. And of course we added the fuse. There was a factory hole here. So we used that factory hole to make our mount to hold our new fuse holder. Goes into place. So all is well. That is our power. So when you're doing an old car, you got to make sure the power is good. If you just go at it and start putting amplifiers and stuff in it, you are going to be, when you're done, you're going to be like, oh damn, this sucks. Now as far as the radio goes, we didn't do anything. We kept the factory radio. It's not actually hooked up. It's just filling a hole. He added in some Audison Prima speakers into the dash. I'm assuming somebody made a mount and he bought it all set. What's up, Mr. Bird? That's a Camaro. It's just an RS Camaro. And then we added in the Morel Virtus Nano Carbons, you know, the really thin ones, and Tegras, which means there's a tweeter here in the center to the rear deck. Now, no, that's not giving us a really good view of it. So let's hop inside. Ow. So that is them there. We made this piece here. It's covered in vinyl. We also made the cool Camaro logo for the top. That guy there. And then, of course, you know, bolted it all into place. And now we have this cool array back here. And when there's no glare on the rear window and you look at it, it's pretty neat because it says, you know, Camaro and looks pretty cool. But that is the piece we made for that. So when you're standing back here, it's like, ooh, look at that. Now the reason for that is because down here, we didn't want to cut any of the rear deck. So there's nothing hanging underneath in the trunk that needed to modify the factory in any way, shape, or form. There are biampable speakers. Those are the passive crossovers right there. We riveted in, or nutsered, I should say, you can see the bolt there, this triangle into the factory holes that were here. Fernando worked on this yesterday, got it all set and ready to go. But this is the audio control ACM 4.300 that is powering it. And then for receiver, we're using the AC BT1, which is their Bluetooth interface. And you'll see there's a remote turn on and all those fun things. Because the AC BT1, ACX, forgot the X. This guy, it is designed to work off of a Bluetooth Connect. So as soon as we add accessory to it, which it's hooked up to the car's accessory, both back and front, it's an old school car, so it has accessory mode as well as run mode. When this is hooked up and it receives a Bluetooth signal, it triggers the remote turn on to turn on the amplifier. So the idea is that anytime it's powered, as long as it gets a Bluetooth, it'll activate and turn on, and as soon as it loses Bluetooth, it automatically shuts off. Everyone uses their phone for their source. There was no reason for us to dig into his dash. He really didn't want to modify too much of the car. The rear deck is just a piece of cardboard that actually wasn't even factory. It was made in 1999. Woo! So if they wanted to pull this out, hold on. If they wanted to pull this out, basically everything we've done, they can pull it all out and go back to factory with no issues whatsoever. And we don't have to worry about that. The only thing you'll have is a couple rivets, and if you wanted to, you could drill those out. Can you think of anything else, Fernando?
No, okay.
Now, one thing that's unique about this car is the gentleman owns this as handicap, and he has this for his interfacing into the car. So This is his brake when you push on this, and then when you pull down, it will activate the gas pedal. You could still use the normal pedals, but he controls it all from here. That's why it is an automatic. So he can drive, work gas, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. But that's definitely neat. But there we go. Do you still have your phone paired? No, I know mine, but I can't use mine because I'm using it for this. So what I'm saying is, you want to turn it on and jam out for a minute? Because I'm sure they would love. I honestly don't know the extent of his injuries. I just know he's in a wheelchair and he has limited leg movement.
It's on?
I do not have it on. Hold on. We'll turn this thing on and let you guys hear it. Okay, first off, look at these tiny keys. If you guys have never owned or worked on a little car, they use these tiny keys that really suck. All right, kick it back. It is on now, sir. There is a blue light on there to let you know that it is on. Yeah, I'm having trouble getting at 1.6 inches thick foam tape you guys use with the speaker adapters here in Australia. It's 3mm thick, too thick. Yeah, that was the problem we ran into the first time, is we got some of the thick stuff, and some of the baskets that were made out of composite material, no go on that. It would warp the composite baskets. You good?
Yeah, because I think yours is.
All right, hang on. All right, sorry about that. All right. I had to shut off my Bluetooth. Where can I get egg crate foam? My rear deck is rattling and needs solvents. Honestly, I have no idea. The stuff we use comes with the Ground Zero kit. Is the light on? You're right there. Yeah. And it's just not pairing. All right, let me turn it off, turn it back on again. All right, recycle the ignition. Cheers. Hey, from California, good morning. Good morning from Alberta. I love it when you try to do a demo and, it just kind of goes to poop. Oh yeah, bedding, egg crate bedding. Yeah, the problem with that stuff is it's really thick. The stuff we use is like uber thin. Yes, this has the Morel pancakes. So that is the reduced carbon nano integras. I'll show you those again. That's these guys right here. You can see the tweeter there in the center, kind of has like a dome shape to them. They're only about this deep. So the thickness of this is actually thicker than the speaker. That way we didn't have to cut any of the factory metal across the back deck to put deeper speakers in there. How important is it aiming your mid-range at you? Are we talking about building some A-pillars? I would say, tell you what, if you want to know more about that stuff, like if you really want to get deep into it, head over to Audio Frog's website, where Andy has a bunch of papers written on stuff like that. Me personally, we don't build A-pillars, so we're using the factory locations. And to me, those always work well. However, I can tell you by going to enough shows and seeing like them done, it's tough. In some cases, it's kind of a blend between aesthetics, meaning how good does it look, as opposed to functionality. So, like, if you can aim it at yourself and make it aesthetically pleasing, I would definitely do that. However, if you have to build these big bulbous things that stick out of the car and look terrible, I don't really care for that too much. Apparently it's being difficult. Behind the door, but currently the mids are pointing directly across the car, but I can mod them to point in more towards me. Yeah, give it a go. If you can mod them a little bit, then why not? It really comes to, okay, so the other thing you gotta keep in mind too, which they don't tell you when you buy speakers, dispersion pattern, meaning how wide is the dispersion pattern as far as the intensity across that. Beaming is like what's the term you'd use for tweeters, where it's a very narrow, and the more you aim it at yourself, the louder it gets. The lower the frequency goes, the less you need to aim it at yourself because of the off-axis or beaming pattern, to where you can look at that. If you want to see what a beaming pattern looks like as far as the speaker, you could Google beaming pattern for speakers. It'll show you a diagram, and you'll kind of get an idea. That's the one thing manufacturers don't do, is they don't show you that anymore, as if they ever did. Most people wouldn't know what they were looking at. But what it's going to show you is that, you know, if your speaker's sitting flat, from what percentage, like, or what degree is the intensity of the frequencies you're trying to play. So it might never be a problem as far as, like, if it's mounted straight and you're sitting, let's say 60 degrees off of it, you still could be getting enough, the same amount of energy off of that direction than if it was aimed at you. So without knowing that, it's kind of hard to say you have to do that. A lot of things go into there. True, but they do sell different thicknesses of bedding. Yeah. Okay, that's a good place to start. You're not having any luck? What the heck, man? That doesn't make any sense. Well, I would like you to play this, but apparently Fernando's phone is not cooperating with us today. It happens. You know, it's an iPhone. There you go. Anyways, we do need to get this delivered to the customer, and we have another car to do, so I think I'm gonna end it there. Thanks so much for playing along, guys. As far as if you guys caught Monday's Facebook Live, great. If you didn't catch Monday's Facebook Live, we did have a special announcement. You may want to go back and check that out. About the 10-minute mark, we introduce it, so if you don't feel like sitting through the whole thing, tune in about 10 minutes and just kind of see what unfolds there. We'll talk more about that next week, of course. Just to give you a little teaser of what I'm talking about, this guy right here, we tell you what it is and why you're gonna want one. And with that, guys, I'm gonna call it a day. You have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Dude, that's bad.
Well, this whole thing is bad. It's just all garbage. From up here, it looks like a tornado, like the pictures we saw of Fox Acoustics warehouse, all blown apart. From this angle, just looking at this, that's what it looks like. I know what you guys were thinking. What are we talking about? Where did you post your pictures this morning? Was those on Nando's?
Yes, on my feed.
On your Instagram feed?
Yeah.
So if you guys aren't following Fernando, what is your
story?
What is your name on Instagram?
Nando 13.
Is it Nando 13?
Lopez, I'm sorry. No,
Mr. Lopez? I was gonna say Mr. Lopez. So if you guys don't follow Mr. Lopez on Instagram, you should, because, well, one, he posts way more pictures than I do. I just do these cool videos. But a lot of our pictures get put there. And he posted some pictures of the reason why the seat is up. We're just redoing it, man. This was all screwed up this morning when we got it in. And, well, let's take a look at what's the carnage that is left. Ooh, the carnage that is left.
So this is the problem. Like, look.
Yes.
I put in the sound treatment.
It's not even attached over here. It's literally.
I'm just saying, like.
Yes, you can peel it right
just
off.
Like grab pieces and put it on.
Yeah.
Don't care. Like.
And if you can peel it off, it's not doing its job because it's not actually stuck to anything.
It's like, this is a wood adapter.
Yep, we got wood.
Then now it's like falling apart.
Well, because it rains in Florida.
And it's like.
Dry on the top. But they painted it black. They waterproofed it.
And now it's like crushing the wire.
Oh, because it expanded. Because they put the wire underneath it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. Oh, and they cut the harness off, and we're putting plug and plays in. That's awesome. Did they even? Where did they even hit the factory screw points?
No.
I was gonna say it's not even the right.
They made the bracket, or they have a bracket, but they screw it into the metal. Oh my God! What a. These people.
I've made you such a prima donna.
Dude, these people are.
All right, so a couple other things that were messed up on this. Obviously, the amplifier. Where'd you put the speed wire that we took out?
It's in the bottom of the table.
All right. So one of the major complaints he had with this was the speakers didn't always play. And where's the amplifier that we took out?
And the other side.
Where?
I mean, the back. I bring it.
Yeah, let me see this for a second. We're putting in the iData RR onto a Kenwood 69 7S. So this was the amplifier that we're taking out. Nice amp, JX 404, nothing wrong with that. However, it has these style terminals. And as you guys that are following along, y'all know that when we do stuff like this, we recommend ferrules. And here's why. So he was complaining about the sound cutting out. And when you look at this, let me zoom back here. You can see that the screw wasn't even touching the wire. He was screwing down the plastic. And not only did he do it, he did it on all of them. And when I say he, I mean the installer.
This is the best one right there. You see where is the screw?
Yeah. So there was no, these were just jammed into the hole and screwed down. This would explain why the sound would cut out and not always work properly, and because it was just installed poorly. All right, let's hop into the dash. There's mistake after mistake. Let's come into here. So for those of you that are watching and you want to do your own installs, buy the ferrules. You can get them from Stinger. You can get 100 from Ferrules Direct if you want. You can buy them on Amazon. We have links to them in DMF tool drawers. So there's high level connection. So this is the 1786. It's a Toyota harness. They've been using this Toyota harness since like 1990, maybe the 80s, 88. I don't know. They've been using this for a long time. This is the easiest harness to find a T harness for. Is this and this one right here. But they went ahead and cut the plug. But where did they cut the plug, you ask? Of course, right here. Cut right here. So 1.25 inches away from the plug, they cut it and crimp capped in their wires. Then, this is the best part. I don't know if you noticed. There's Tessa tape. Here's the Tessa tape right here. So this was at the amplifier. This is aluminum, by the way. This is aluminum wire. This isn't copper. So they put some Tessa tape there. Now, this wire, this is the power. Oh, no, that's aluminum too. You can always tell by the weight. Here you go. So they put Tessa tape right here, right around the end, and then that was it. They did the same on that end. We, of course, pulled it off. And then they put, here's some more Tessa tape, but, whatever it's doing. The purpose of Tessa tape is an insulator. It's not a beauty thing. It's not to make something more appealing. It's there to protect the wire when it's underneath the carpet or behind the panel. Okay, so and to prove that point, when you look into here, all right, Toyota likes to use rubber tubing over their wiring, and so this wire, you're never going to see this wire. So by their thought logic there, none of this should have anything over it because you're only going to tape it up where you're going to see it. No, it's an insulator for when it's inside of these panels, just like a factory. All this is covered up. This tube here, insulation goes into a bracket. Now inside of this, it might not be insulated because that's the insulator for it. It's an insulator. It is not for prettiness. A lot of guys use it for that, and there's nothing wrong with it as long as you keep going down the whole wire and not just stop where people can see it. You don't have to use the Tessa tape if you don't want to. But it's an insulator, not, because this shit gets sticky, all right, really fast. Like I've already cleaned my hands with I had to clean the factory wiring because I couldn't, it was all covered in black goo. So it's like, it was a kick in the balls. Really short wires, covered in black goo, had to take mineral spirits, clean them all off so I could then strip them back, clean them up, resolder them together, then use the exterior Tessa tape, my personal favorite if I have to use Tessa tape, over those wires. So now that it's insulated again, so it matches the factory look.
Power wire.
Power wire was next. That was the other fun one. If you noticed, like I just showed you this area here that was apart. There's a grommet over here, and there's a grommet this big on this side. The battery is over here in the corner of the car. Naturally, if the amplifier's here, you just come up and go through that factory grommet. No. That was way too easy. They came across here, went up through this, up and around, removed the grommet.
Like,
it's a freaking tennis ball grommet. Remove the whole thing. Left a hole in the firewall this big. Okay, and then ran the wire back across the engine bay. Ran it back across here and connected to the battery. Do you have a light I can borrow? Do you have one in the car? All right. So if you'll see that piece of sound treatment right there, that is, you can kind of see if you come in a 1/2 inch, that's the size of the hole that they left in this firewall.
Well, actually this is smaller, but we grabbed.
Well, yeah, I said a 1/2 inch smaller. So we had to make a big piece of sound treatment, kind of like you do in a Jeep.
So I made two, one smaller and then one bigger. So
yeah, so these are the size of the holes that we had to cover that up. That's what we used to cover up the hole in the firewall. Here you go. Thank you, sir. I get it. We've been talking about this all morning. It's one of those things that just is irritating. And in the software. You just do it in the software. It literally just put nothing. Zero. It's the store owner's fault. We've come to that conclusion. It's not, road noise out. Yeah, no kidding, right? Imagine doing 60 miles an hour down the interstate with a softball-sized hole up behind your air conditioner. Yeah, that's just, it's the owner's fault. It's not the installers. I used to blame the installers, but I don't blame the installers anymore. And the reason why I don't is because if you're a sucky installer, you're a sucky installer. If somebody hires you to do sucky work, and you continue to do sucky work, well, that's the owner for hiring you in the first place. He should have never hired you. But the buck stops with the owner. I mean, if he's perfectly fine with letting this go out the door because of whatever reason, then that's his problem. It's even if he doesn't know how to install. I mean, if you own a restaurant, which we always fall back on that analogy, and the food sucks, it's your store. If your cook sucks, fire the cook and get a new cook. You know, if you're the store owner and you're cool with this leaving like that and all these problems that we've seen, and you don't go back and keep an eye on what happens, and then, yeah, it's your fault. And most installers we know they'll tell us, oh man, I'd love to do work like that, but my owner won't let me. So it's the owner. The owner sucks. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. And it's a shame because, you know, he paid good money for this twice. Quality control, its owner's name on the line. I know, right? That's why I bought my Highlander and Dean and Fernando to have it done in the first place. And the Highlander video is why he is here, because he saw the video and he says, no. Now, what are we going to put in this to fix everything that they did, I guess would be the next best question. And that's a fun one. We're going to do one of my personal favorites. We're going to do a Kenwood X-Line DNX 697S. So it's a new guy there. It's going to go into the dash. Working on the harness right now. I'll say it again. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. If you're doing a Toyota and it needs a smart harness, RR. That's it. Nothing else. No offense against any other manufacturer, but this one is the best. Hands down. It's okay. Other people, they make good stuff, but that's the best. Full cal inside. We're going to do these guys right here. Just like we are doing in the video you guys are watching right now, the plug and plays, or the integration, or the full cal inside, whatever you want to call it. We're getting a set of these 6x9s in the front door. Ooh, which reminds me, I haven't showed you the best parts. Look at that. God, just sticky crap everywhere. Bump, 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 bump. Look at that. Now, I want to show you guys from my perspective when I popped that grill off. So I was sitting here, and Fernando goes, what's in the dash? I found a crossover up underneath the dash. I said, I don't know, let me check. So I popped this one off, And I saw it from this angle right here. So I didn't see that little black spot right there, the rip. And I was like, oh, that's a coaxial Pioneer 2.5 with a tweeter. I've never seen a speaker like that. And then as I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, it's not that. They've literally just cut out enough space to put the tweeter into the center of the speaker, and that's what we got. That's what's up here in the dash.
Did you got the crossover? Or you don't have?
I haven't pulled this one out yet. I was saving that little funness for you. Talk about custom mounts. Those are right up your alley. I could see you doing those, right? You could do that, Oscar. I mean,
oh yeah, that was awesome.
I mean, we got the fast string on there from the factory speaker with the tweeter. It's a beautiful idea. So I was like, wait a minute, what is this? So then of course, Fernando came over and took a picture. But these are 911s. And if I'd have known it was this bad, I would have filmed it because I know how much you guys like it. Dean's favorite character from listen, changing subject real quick there, Bobby. Way good. Installers are always blamed, though. It's called pass the buck. I agree 100%. It's not the installer's fault. It's the owner's fault. If the owner is sitting here beating, if the installer sucks, the installer sucks. Yeah. But if the owner,
you have to keep him on, right? Like, you can do a better work. Like,
well, okay, we're fortunate here because, like,
that's fine.
When all right, so here's
okay. But somebody coming in there, like, yes, I'm one of the guys that sometimes I just tape. You don't have to tape it.
Correct. Just don't even bother.
Tape it. Just leave it out.
Well,
perfectly fine. Just make it nice.
So here's my thought. And I have a thought on this. So we'll come over here real quick. All right. Expandable tubing, one size. Expandable tubing, second size. Expandable tubing, remote turn on. Black expandable tubing. This one is right there. It's right there. We haven't had time. Foam for the speakers. Okay. Black shrink wrap, blue shrink wrap, red shrink wrap, yellow shrink wrap, white, gray, green, purple, and clear. All out where everyone can see it. When you come down here, 4-gauge ferrules, 0-gauge ferrules, 8-gauge ferrules, non-insulated, 4-gauge ferrules, non-insulated, 22-gauge ferrules, 16-gauge ferrules, 12-gauge ferrules, dual 16, dual 12, single 8. Okay, all the ferrules are there. Ring terminals. Speaker terminals, bullet connectors, both sizes, speaker terminals, other size of, okay, come over to here. Nut certs, M5s, nut certs, M6. We don't use them as much, so I don't stock hundreds of them. Out of those, because we actually have a variety pack sitting over on the workbench, which I'll show you. M5s. Here we go. These are all M4s, and these are all those are the rubber grommets. Somewhere in here, there's M3s. Okay, there they are. Okay, but come over here, and you guys wonder, how's those crap sitting on the workbench? All right, so these we just got in. These are M6s, and the reason why we bought this variety pack is because Fernando kept asking for different sizes. So this allowed me to figure out, okay, what size is he using most of? Now I can just order. Apparently I need to order the 12 millimeter and the one next to it, which is the 16 millimeter, which are sitting here in these bags.
Hey. So if you have any more options, let me know.
These are M5s, and they're, again, bought a variety pack so I can figure out which ones he's using. Yeah. This is M2s, 3s, and 4s. Got this so there, again, I could figure out what size I needed, what size I was going to use the most of. I bought 2 of them because, well, this was a really good deal, I'm not going to lie. It's pretty nice. So I have a brand new full one right here. Okay, so install accessories. We finally got back in. As some of you guys found out, we were out of zip ties. So we got 4,000 zip ties in the other day with 4-inch. We have 2,000 of those in stock. Laser. Acrylic for the laser. Okay?
No.
We're real fortunate in the fact that we have
Yes.
the stuff it's gonna take to do the job. So I guess the point, I have a point, I'm getting there, I'm taking the long road. The point to get there is when you guys ask, hey, where should I go? Who should I trust? Ask to go into the install bay and look around and see the accessories that they have. Okay, that's where I was going with this.
Okay.
If you don't see this shit on the walls, if you don't see the tools, the things that you're gonna want in your install, move on to the next place. Or ask them where the stuff is at. Because if you want braided loom around your wire and you don't see braided loom hanging anywhere in the install bay, they're not going to have it.
Right. No, fine. I'm just saying, like, you probably don't, I don't know, you're a shop and you don't have the ability to get all these things, right? But
Dude,
you
why?
can
They don't live in a country with Amazon?
I totally understand, but
I
but
mean,
you can have a clean install. Those things that they doing is just take the time to do it right.
oh no, listen, I did installs for years without having 5 different colors of shrink tubing.
Right.
I had 4-inch zip ties and a desire to do clean installs. And that's where it's at. But the thing is you know, if someone comes in and says, I want braided loom over my wire, if you don't see braided loom over or if you're just expecting it, that's the other thing. A lot of people just expect this stuff.
Yeah.
We do it because people expect it, and that's what they expect from us. If you go into a shop and you don't see this stuff hanging on the walls, don't expect to get it.
Now, also, you as a customer, do your research, right? Right now, social media,
Well, that's the
Facebook,
thing, though.
Instagram. Yeah, but like, I go and buy something and I go and look, see how it looks.
Oscar posts amazing pictures on here of stuff.
Yes.
Okay. And we know that Oscar's installs get that stuff. Now, is that because the owner says, I have Oscar,
I think it's
Oscar's
a
going to do that?
mutual-
Or is it's a mutual thing?
Yes,
Just
it's a
like here.
mutual thing.
Paul
Yes.
has no idea what we have in this install bay.
Jay lied that, and
Yes.
of course, Oscar is like, hey,
Yeah.
you have to get this. They agree.
And they get it.
Fine. You, same way.
Yeah, I just order this stuff. Paul's
Correct.
like, he
Okay,
pays the bill.
Yeah.
So, and there's not all owners are like that, and that's why I said it all falls on the owner. And the owners, there's a battle raging, a dark and scary battle between owners and installers. It's going on for years. We shouldn't even talk about it because we could get yelled at by somebody. But it's always the owners complaining that the installers are not going fast enough, not doing a good enough job, not doing blah, 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 blah. And of course, it's the opposite side. The installers go, the owners won't do this, the owners won't do that, blah, 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 blah.
And that's what I always say. It's a mutual thing. You know, it's in between the owners and the installers and everything in the middle.
Yeah, and a lot of places now are doing shop charges. So like $15 for an itemized list of everything you should buy to start a turnkey shop. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like you charge an extra $5, $15, $20, whatever it is. Don't forget the trash cans. Yes, I've dumpster dived their trash in a bay. Lots of good wire there too. Yeah, so we recycle our wire that we don't use. So like you guys have seen it in the video, this can here, that's all recyclable wire. So it's getting full, so we'll recycle it. Oh, what's hiding right here? Oh, that's the IRTA too.
What?
Yes, I know.
You have one?
We have 2. That's it. We have the prototype and the finished product. However, I didn't show you the other day. They sent us a video of them loading them into the box. And of course, I was
this
like...
This one has the one that has the name.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah, no, the other one says 5-star, I think.
Yeah.
Either way, they sent me a video of them getting loaded into the boxes, and it was just weird seeing...
You cried?
Hundreds. I did. 'Cause I was like, they're going to be here way too soon.
Baby's coming.
Baby's coming. It's costing me about as much as a baby. Actually, way more than a baby. But anyways, it's going to be fun. It'll be fun. Oh, that's Christian talking about. Yeah, Christian loves to dig through our wire bin. I found you guys on YouTube, watched your videos, then I knew you were the ones that wanted to install my system. No one else in my eyes could. And thanks, man. I mean, and we know.
Appreciate it.
And like, we know that. I mean, and that's why this guy's here. Because he's like, he got tired of going back to the same place and them doing the same crap and never fixing his problem. And there again, we're not superheroes. We're not the best. We're not awesome. We do our job. We do the job you pay us for, and that's it. And that's really all anybody should expect, is to do the job that you paid them for. And I understand that trying to find that can sometimes be a pain.
Yeah.
But regardless of that,
yeah,
it's where we're at in this world.
That's crazy, dude.
It is crazy. It's nutrageous.
Yeah.
Ooh, and I forgot to mention these.
It's Tommy.
Is Tommy who?
Tommy
Who? These guys right here are the most asked about thing. The 22 gauge butt connectors.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, where do you get those? Stinger, Amp Global, they sell them. I think I know at one point I did find them on Amazon.
Gotta be a Stinger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but everyone always asks about those. Excited to play with the Mini. I was just gonna ask Tommy if he's got a canoe for his basement. Have you been following along with that one? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jesus. He was finding out today or yesterday if they had to rip out the walls.
Dean,
Yes.
for an $1,800 bucks,
$1,800.
can
1.8.
that work for a full system replacement and a 2002 Isuzu Rodeo?
So those are small speakers. Okay, with installation or without would be the question. If you got $1,800 for that car, a Isuzu Rodeo, that's going to be either like a 5 1/4 or a 4-inch, even if it's a 6.
Even if that's a 6, it doesn't matter.
You know, finding a nice set of components would be ideal. But there again, if it's just an older one like that, it might just have 4 coaxials.
Yeah.
So I would spend as much money as you could buying the best, like 4-inch that you could find. If it has the 4-inch, like the Audis and Prima 4-inch is pretty nice.
Yeah, but then now we're gonna start like.
No. There again, you spend the most money there. From there, kicker key. P300 8-inch. If it's a single cab, put the 8-inch behind the sub, behind the seat, and you're right there at $1,800. You know, 2-amp system. I don't know what you want to do for a radio. You know, if you're just going to do a single din or an entry level double
rodeo
din.
like an SUV?
Yeah.
Okay. I would carry just about the front stage. Like I would do, the kicker key in the front, just in the.
But the point is that yes, for $1,800 without installation, you could buy the products it takes to get a really nice thing. But you're right. If you could fit a set of components up front, then I would just put the kicker key on the front, radio on the dash.
Yeah.
It just there is so much stuff you can buy at that price point.
Yeah.
It's the installation that's going to be expensive. It always is.
Oh yeah.
I've got an 8200X Stinger 9000s and a D1200 Carbon Elite Pros. All right, where are we going with this? What would you add? So we got a D1200 Carbon Elite Pros, Integra 602 roof fill, and existing two Type R MVR 1200 power end, and a 100 fair cap, and a big ass battery. I mean, honestly, nothing. I mean, you could add an epicenter if you really want a deep boomy bass, but I would probably save up for a new radio. 8200's getting kind of old.
Oh yeah.
And kind of slow.
Yes, totally.
I think just refreshing the radio. If you can get into a new, a Kenwood Exelon, like a 9 something. Pioneer really doesn't have anything new. I mean, they have like the 8600, but that's a 2-year-old radio because they didn't exist for 12 months. But I would, and even buying a radio right now is so hard.
Yeah.
But I would probably buy a new radio if I was just burning a hole through my pocket. Even still, the 8200 is perfectly fine. There's no reason to replace it. But if you're just looking to spend money on your stereo, I feel like it's going to be the radio. Any
movies this week? What do you have this week?
Some Donkey Kong documentary that we have to watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was the thing yesterday?
Oh, I mean, The Last Samurai was a spectacular movie.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
what did he think?
Oh, it was the best movie we've watched. Which I don't argue that point because it was the best movie we watched. Where are you going?
I gotta look for something.
You gotta look for something?
I got a call.
Huh?
I got a call.
From Doofus?
Yeah.
Oh. What's the best crossover point for my Focal 5 1/4 2-ways? Ooh, hold on. A 5 1/4, I'm gonna start at 100 hertz. The tweeter's gonna be the same. Like if it's a component, all Focal crossovers for the tweeters start at 5,000. So that's just what it is. But if you're looking for the bottom for the mid-range, I would start at about 100. Because 80s, depending on the type of music you listen to, might be too low. Anyhow, that's what we got going on in this. This Highlander is gonna get saved ever so slowly. We'll get it all back together. We'll get it sounding good. We'll get the new speakers in it. We'll get the nice radio up in the dash, and everything will be spectacular.
Yeah.
And he will be happy. Focal Flax versus Alpine X-Type. Why? I mean, I'm buying the Flax. I'm not even, that's to me not even, I mean, the X is a great speaker, but I mean, I don't feel like anyone we've ever demoed the two would pick the X.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing they'd say is the tweeter isn't loud enough.
Yeah.
They'd be like, I don't like the tweeter on the X.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, okay. And it's a great tweeter. It's just a softer tweeter because it's a big dome tweeter as opposed to the Focal, which is not a big dome tweeter.
Yeah.
It's an inverted hard dome tweeter. And I think that's the Focal sound right there, is that inverted dome, hard dome tweeters, what people like about Focal. And what you looking for?
Now somebody say something. Right here.
The crossover thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's,
all the speakers.
Yeah, 5,000. I said
are
that.
5K. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I was looking for. I didn't realize this is in the big white book of nothingness. All right. Well, that's all we got. We're going to let you guys go there and get on with your glorious day. It's Friday. I hope you guys caught the news show this morning. If you didn't catch the news show, by all means, please go back and watch the news. We got in our new, what?
No, before you go, GG Tech. Yes, definitely. Like, he is 100% Android, but he's willing to buy an iPad to use the IRTA too.
Now keep in mind, it'll also work with a DM-RTA or any one of the handheld RTAs. So if you have a PAA3X, but we know that most people don't have these devices. That's why this product is going to exist in the first place, is so that you don't have to have an $800 RTA or a $1,200 RTA. You can buy this and use it on a device. And the big question we get is, yeah, an iPad is, I mean, you could do that new iPad mini? Jesus. Because everybody wants to take pictures in their car and do SketchUp and draw all the cool things like Tom Miller, you know, and all those guys. So, I mean, that's why you want to get an iPad anyways. This is just a bonus feature. But the people ask why no Android, and it's a simple thing, is the iPhone is a done deal. Like, we know what it needs. We know what every iPhone needs. We don't know what every Android phone needs. So we're not saying that
iPhone doesn't have internal EQ. Like, it doesn't have the internal EQ.
Well, it has it, but it's just not there.
Yeah, but it's like normal. Androids, they are different. They have.
Well,
EQ,
they're all different.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that's
there's
the
too many
reason
to
why
test.
It's not gonna work.
If you're local and you stop by and you're not afraid of us blowing up your phone, we'll be more than happy to plug one in and see if it works.
No, I don't want to.
But we can't guarantee that it's not going to have an adverse effect on the phone.
And that's the reason why it's not.
Yeah. So it's not that like saying no,
it's not you.
We had no ability to test Android phones.
Yeah.
So that's why we say that, and also the engineer we hired was very scared of that thought process. So he's like, let's just say no. And I said, I'm fine with that. No works. Just say no, guys.
All right.
All right, and with that, we're gonna wrap it up. We're out of here. You guys have a great rest of your week. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow night, a Saturday night, to the live show.
Yep, that's right.
And we'll show you our new setup that we got that is
guys later.
Hurting my head. Bye.
Bye.
How you doing, Fernando?
Oh, I'm so excited.
So excited. I could tell. You're so excited.
So excited to be here.
Yeah. Nice. Well, today, guys, we're working on a big old GMC truck. Look at those wheels, man. Aren't those? What's your feelings on these things?
I like them.
Yeah? I mean, they look like they could kill you. You know, they look like something you'd see just chopping up wood or something.
Yeah.
Morel's in the house. He looks so excited. It's Monday, man. How excited can you be on a Monday?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Audio by art. Yay, no Ford. No doubt, right? Well, what do we got going on in this? Let's kind of take a journey through here. First off, we just got done doing our, what we call the Basic Plus, which is sound treatment along the speaker area here and then all inside of the door cavity. And then there's a half sheet of morph that goes onto the door panel, but we haven't got to that yet. And of course, these are the brackets to mount the speakers into place. They're heavy. Dude, those things are super heavy. And this is what we're going with. We're going with K-Powers. This will be up in this. We haven't got to the top of the dash yet. I have to laser those panels, and I have to laser the cool little Focal logo that goes on the door to replace the Bose. Most of the morning was spent back here doing a bunch of testing. We wanted to do more Bose testing. This is a Bose system, and also getting the amplifier. So the cool thing about these is, as you can see, it has these cool little doors. And we're doing the Audison Forza F, or the Forza for that matter, which is an 8-channel. We're gonna run it 6-channel. And then we're doing a Rockford 750.1 that's hidden way over here in the corner. And this bracket here is gonna be made to house all those. Uses factory bolt locations as well as 2 extra bolts that go up here. The Bose amplifier, if you guys remember, is located right here. So that we'll be integrating into that, putting our LGD greens on it. But yeah, there we go. That's that. All right, so to get this out, hang on. Give me 1 second. So you guys can get a better picture of it. All right. There we go. So there's the Bose. All right, so there's the Bose amplifier right there. That's an AC/DC power inverter. And this one, see, we've added in the 2 extra screw down points. We've also removed the vent and put a panel behind it and over it and some sound treatment over that. How this is going to work is there's going to be 2 fuse holders mounted right here. 4 gauge will come up from the bottom here, attach into those. Power wire here, power wire up into this, along with the sub wire. Might come down this side. This is getting relocated to right here. So unscrew that, screw it down to here. Base knob will come off and go over to the well, out to the side here. There's a cool little pocket for the wiring to go out. Signal to feed this, signal to feed the amplifier will all come down along with the speakers and come and go up underneath this and across and then up into here. We'll build a bracket in this area for our LGDs that we're gonna use, the load generators, keep that amplifier happy. And then that, so we'll show you all that tomorrow once we get that built. Yeah, that's kind of the excitement. And then Fernando's over here getting ready to do the fast rings. He's gonna cut his leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is really the beginning of this, even though it's like 2 o'clock. We spent most of the morning just going over, and one of the problems that we noticed when we did the one not too long ago was there's a polarity shift in some of the speakers at different volumes. So in this particular vehicle, when you're at one point in the volume knob, not everything, some things will pop red, but as you go up in the volume, some things will pop green, and that's electrical. It's not acoustical. I'm assuming the acoustics will change according to that, but what that was doing is that was causing us all kinds of grief when we got done, we were trying to do polarity testing. So we wanted to really dig deep into this one now that we kind of figured out there's that anomaly, and find the volume on the radio so that we can do that test and make sure that we got all the polarity right. So what we figured out is that if you go about an inch, because it says volume adjustment or something like that, I don't remember. If you go about an inch past the text on there, an inch, do we figure? Or an inch and a half from where the
inch and a half.
Inch and a half back. So if max volume is here, if you come back an inch and a half, right about there is a good spot, or anything after that. And you can do a polarity test at that point, and all the lines are popping positive at that point. What's a recommended placement for a passive crossover with a mid-bass and a tweeter are both on the door? Well, we've done that a bunch of times, but you want to mount it into the door panel itself. And then what we recommend you getting is some form of a plug to disconnect your crossover without, because you don't want to put it in the door. There is a car stereo lab video on Fernando's car where we show you what we did. If you want to go back, it's one of the earlier ones. We put a set of Phoenix Gold passive crossovers in his door. We buy these things right here. These are we have them on D&F tool drawer. They're pretty, I think you buy them like sets of 5, but either way, they're pretty reasonable. You can get them in sets of 2. Depending on how many wires you need, those are a 6-wire, they're making them a 4-wire, they're making a 2-wire. And the reason for those are so that you can mount your passive crossovers inside the door panel, inside that vapor barrier. And if you have to get your car serviced, they can easily unplug it just like you can plug everything else. So what you're looking at is you want it to be on this side here, not on the other side of this, because then it's going to get wet, it's going to get ruined, it's going to be destroyed, and you're going to kill your really expensive speakers. That kind of sucks. Just see me for updates on no, I didn't have. There will be huge updates to D&F tool drawer here real soon, because we're getting ready to update the whole thing for the being able to purchase the RTA. So there's a giant update coming soon. It just hasn't launched yet. So stay tuned for that. Hi guys, hi. Took my Kenwood Exxon radio to the drive-in, found out it was a second delay. Would using a Walkman into aux work? Oh, you're talking about, yeah. Huh?
The Sony?
No, a Walkman, something else other than, so there was a delay because of the FM modulator that the drive-ins have into the factory radio. Honestly, I don't know. I've never, yeah, it's a tough one.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the Kenwood's problem or just their problem. I feel like it'd be their problem. I don't know, that's a weird one. What's a good crossover point on the DM810 LC 4.800 power and a pair of Focal Flax 6.5? Focal recommends 5,000 hertz, 24 dB for the crossover on the tweeter. So the mid-bass would be the opposite of that, probably 80 to 5,000. That's their recommendation. Go with whatever you like after that.
Go with God.
Go with God, my friend. So anyways, not much happening here. Just kind of getting through the whole of it. Johnny, what's up? Oscar, what's happening?
What's going on?
Hey, what's up from Connecticut? Hey, I'm getting a Kenwood 7706. Which steering wheel control do you recommend? Pack upstream. Well, they don't make the RC anymore. They make a CP2. All-in-one or packs. You want to get an all-in-one if you can get one. So if you can get the, I don't know what kind of car you have, which would have been the better thing, but honestly with that one, you could do an RR Maestro. So if Maestro makes the RR compatible for yours, I would rather do that, because you can program the whole thing on your desktop or laptop or on your computer and just plug it in and everything works. Plus you'll get extra features like tire pressure sensor, gauge clusters, battery voltage, and all that other fun stuff. For more than 3 feet, is it okay to use aluminum for power? You're joking, right? No. Don't use aluminum for anything.
Okay.
Okay. My installer just recommended cutting my factory speaker harness and using spades. Metro makes a harness. Should I walk out? No. That's entirely up to you and your installer and how you feel about it. I'm not necessarily a fan of using the Metro adapters. Each person has their own thoughts on that. It's up to you, man. It's up to you. I'm not losing any sleep over it either way. Got any Kenwood radios? I have no idea what he has. I bet you we have some Jensens, though. Mazda 2. Oh, so that'd be the Mazda interface from PAC. Yeah. Make sure you read the instructions on that one. It'll work, but read the instructions on that one. Because there's like 6 different... There's a ton of installations for the Mazda on that, and I don't know if iData makes their interface for that or not. If they do, it would be easier, but otherwise, the PAC we use a ton of just because it's simple. But read the instructions. Each one of those has different things that happen.
Read the what?
The instructions.
What?
Do you recommend the kicker key amp on a 2021 F-150 non-BO? Yeah, we've done that a couple times. It's nice. Just use it, have fun. What's up, Elias? Saw that new DSP. Gotta get some more information on that.
The mini.
Metro backstrap on tweeters, use or no? That'd be a no. I mean, hey man, you use what you will, but no, I would never do that. I'll be getting some Helix C4s for the Tesla. Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Harness to use factory speaker wires when replacing HK amp on BMW C41. Tech doesn't answer emails. Man, I gotta be honest with you. I got nothing on that one. That's one of those, like Metro doesn't make one. That's an internet thing. There are companies that make them, but I don't know which ones. You gonna go check that guy out or okay?
No, he's waiting for
you, man. Waiting for you. All right, listen, we're gonna call it there. I know this is a short one. Hey, it is 5 minutes of 5-star every now and then. We will actually do that. We'll see you guys tonight at 6:30 over on Facebook. We may or may not have a guest. I'm still trying to get confirmation on that, which is kind of bothering me. But anyways, if not, we'll still have a great show. We'll do all kinds of fun and exciting things. And you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tonight. Bye. What you doing?
Trying to put the screw.
Where a screw don't belong?
I gotta try.
You do have to try. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 5 Minutes with 5-Star. We're working on a big ass GMC At4 HD. Oh my gosh, this thing is a monster. Some of the things that make this different than the Chevy version of this, the Sierra, is the dash. And I mean by that is the top of the dash. This guy here has just little corner spots for the tweeter, mid-range, middler things. Whereas on the Sierra, at least on the ones we've worked on so far, it's just one giant piece across the top. This is 2021, they may have changed, I don't know. But what we got going into here is, let me come around to this side. Is the Focal K speaker. So that is the Kevlar. And as you can see, it has the tweeter mounted in, 5-star laser brackets. And how this is, you see the 2 screws, and what it does is inside of that tweeter, there's a little tiny lip. And those 2 pieces sandwich that together so that it basically hovers between the 2 of them. Of course, there's a 5-star logo on either side, so depending on whether it's going to be right or left, it really doesn't matter. That blue piece of wire keeps falling back in there. But as you can see, it's a fun tweeter to get to. See it? Yeah. Let's go around to the other side so we get out of Fernando's way. The rear speakers are in. They're the Kevlars, the Ks. You can, there you go. You can see that telltale yellow. The back is coming along. This is the vent here. So there is a piece of 16th inch ABS, gasketed. Then we put the sound treatment on it to hold it in place. The nice thing about this is you don't have to damage it to take it out. So if you ever want to put it back in, you can. Over here, we have the LGDs in place. These are the audio control LGD greens. This is going to be front. This is sub. This is front mid-range, and then this is rear. So those will all come in, and then you have your integration harness is clipped into place. These are the front speakers here. So that is how that is gonna go. All the wiring, which I'll show you in a minute, is gonna come across the bottom here, and then we'll attach there and we'll plug in there. And then the power wire will come down this side along with the bass knob. We haven't figured out where we're gonna put the bass knob yet. This module here also has been relocated. It was like this, now it's like this, which will show you how we've managed to do that when we get over to the amp board. Let's walk around the truck here. Ooh, look at that, dude. So if you guys ever wondered how it does that cool, like, hide trailer cam, there's a camera here, there's a camera here. This looks like this is a super wide. That looks normal. And then there's 2 more up there. So there's 4 cameras in the back of this thing. But we've taken off the Bose logo, and we've replaced that with a nice Focal, same size. You can see that Kevlar in there, that yellow, looking all sexy. This is all back together. So this is one piece here, whereas in the Chevy, it's just a giant long piece. There's the radio. We'll be keeping that for right now. No reason to change it. It's got CarPlay and Android Auto and all that fun thing. Plus it does a ton of stuff. So there he is. Getting it all back together. We haven't gotten to the fuse holder yet. That's the next part, is figuring out how that's going to go in there. Let me show you the speakers that we're taking out, because I know you guys you like to see that stuff. So this is the 6x9 that is in the door. Looks like pretty much every single 6x9 that GM has made, although it does have the little Bose logo in the center. The rear does not have the Bose logo. My guess is that this is just a standard 6.5. I don't think they do anything special for the rear speaker. It just looks like every other. This is unique though, the little Bose on there. So you're paying for that, and then you're paying for this guy. This is what's up in the dash, and as you can see, it has that Bose logo. I mean, it could just be they glue the dust cap on. I don't know, because this looks more or less just like every other one of these we've taken out. It's a cloth surround on all of them. Cloth surround, cloth surround. If you guys question the reasoning behind fast rings, well, there you go. There's your fast ring right there. Hey, and it's open cell foam. Oh my gosh, no way. Why would it? Oh, that's so crazy. Anyways, here you go. That's that. Let's move over to the amplifier. Today is a little bit more involved and done. This amplifier is in the power wire, of course, comes around the back. Stacked the power and ground on top of one another, then it lays flat and comes the other ground. They come to this ring terminal here. 4-gauge ring terminal is a great way, just the right size for 2 8-gauge, which is perfect. Subwire here is going to come out. That's where that module goes, right here. So we've tucked the wire in. It's going to hide. This is open on the back side. This is the screw. We put a nutsert in there, so it's a threaded insert. So that can be unscrewed and screwed and unscrewed and screwed as many times as it needs to. These are the 2 mounting brackets at the top that we added in nutserts to. And then we have a remote turn on. This has a remote out. This is going to turn on this amplifier. And let's see. Yep, speaker signal in. It's going to be high level, of course. Signal out, 8 channels. It's going to be used as a 6 channel. What I'm getting ready to do right now is solder on the speaker output harness here. And then when I'm done with that, I'll address this. This is the speaker input harness. And this will be getting all of these, the other ends to the LGDs. So for the most part, this can all unplug with the exception of 2 wires, and I'm still on the fence with those. I think I'm gonna put connectors there just because it kind of bothers me, but these 2 wires don't have a connection. It does, but you have to unplug the whole thing. So I'm not sure, because technically, yes, you could unplug these 2 harnesses and remove the LGDs and the whole thing would come out as one piece. So I haven't decided what I want to do there yet. Put some braided loom over them. This is the floor, so these will turn up like this and go over that side. This here is the seat where it comes in, and what we've done is we've milled it down. So this is standard 1/4 inch here, but then we've milled it down to a much thinner, looks like a 1/16 of an inch, and that will hold this bottom piece in place. Plus we have these screw here, screw here, screw there, screw there. This thing isn't going anywhere, so we have nothing to worry about there. And then the LGDs is also using, let me just walk over there and show you. The LGD is using that silver nut there, so that's a nut on top of this, so that factory stem sticks out pretty far, so those are being held in. These are those 2 wires I was talking about. So for the most part, this would all just unclip here, this would unclip here, and it could all come out as one piece. Yeah, I don't know, I haven't figured it out. I'll probably just solder them together. I think that would be a better move. And this and that. And there we go. So for those of you that have been playing at home, if you caught the IRTA2, still trying to get used to saying that, even though we've been basically calling it that for the last 2 years, but saying it in public to where you guys can actually hear it. We did 3 videos on the IRTA2 today that were released. We did them yesterday, and they were in this vehicle. This was a great vehicle to use that in. So if you guys didn't catch that, if you're curious about what I'm talking about, we made those because obviously we're going to need a visual instruction manual, as it were, on how to use it. That is our first go at a couple of the videos we have in mind. We just wanted to put them out there, let you guys take a look at them, see if they make sense. You know, so when we do, they may be the finals. If everyone thinks they're good, then they'll be the finals. If not, we'll make tweaks when we get other cars in. That's kind of the nice thing, is that we obviously work on plenty of cars. So if we make one that we don't like or isn't received well or didn't go into enough depth, we can always make a second one and knock that one out and put the new one in place. 2018 Silverado non-Bose system. Do I still need to install load resistors? Yes you do. But if you're going to use the H8 DSP, if you're a fan of the whole Audison thing, then you could get, hold on one second, you can use the green LGDs, but if you're an Audison person, which is what Hertz is, this guy here, which is backwards, hang on, this is the USS4 Universal Speaker Simulator 4-channel. This is Audison's version of an LGD. So you can use this to go into that and make your life fine. So there you go. Ooh, it's the Orion Beast. What's in the mail today? Anything exciting? No, we got nothing in the mail today. No, which is nice. I'm fine with that. I want one. I know, doesn't everybody? We'll have them soon. Hopefully, right now, the IRTA2, hopefully the 1st of October, we'll be able to start shipping them out, or taking orders to start shipping them out. So we're shooting for that first week in October. Once we get them in, we got to, of course, do testing on them, make sure that they all work. We have a ton of them coming in. So, you know, we're going to verify each one of them works before it leaves. What's Fernando's favorite components?
The ones that I have right now.
The ground zeros?
Well, I mean.
Oh, you just mean the ones that you have right now. There you go, the ones that are playing in his car right now. He doesn't have the uranium ground zeros. Last time we had the Morel hybrids in there, and he loved those. So he's,
I love those.
He loved those. So there you go. Can you explain what is a high level input? Yeah. So you have high level and low level, meaning you have, this is actually a pretty good amp to do it on. High level and low level. So this is low level. This is going to be RCA. Something that's coming out of a radio aftermarket is going to have low level. That's not to say that some factory radios going to their factory amplifier aren't low level, but that gets us into a whole nother discussion. So RCAs are going to be low level. The outputs from a amplifier, whether it be factory, aftermarket, whatever, are going to be called high level. So in this amplifier, they have this input here, which is for low level, and they have this input here, which is for high level. Now, low level is going to be anywhere between a 0.5 volt, usually up to about 5 volts. And then high level is going to be anywhere between, let's say, 2 volts all the way up to 10, 20, or 40 volts. As you can see, that's high level. Low level outputs max out at about 5 volts. Most of the time, 2.5 to 4 is the most common. There you go. Hopefully that answers that question. Milli Pro, Ground Zero, and Hybrid. I don't think he's ever had the Milli Pros in his car though. I want one too, please. Make sure you put it on my bench. It's not Santa Claus. Beer. You win. All right, let me go through there. The new system with install. Okay, how much would something like this cost, the new system with install? Off the top of my head, I don't know. If I had to guess, because it's going with K2 power, and that particular amplifier, you're probably talking about 6-7 grand, somewhere 6-8 grand. Just a guess. These are some of the more expensive speakers that we sell, so they, but there again, don't let that scare you. Okay, each system is custom designed for the unique individual's need. So you might not necessarily need what we're doing in this guy's car. So that's why we really don't ever talk about price, because sometimes you'll say a price and people get scared, and it's like, oh, don't worry about that. We anyways design a system that fits everyone's needs, everyone's budget. It's just how it is. That's how it's got to be. Okay, going to be switching from the Audison Bit 10D to an audio controlled DM810 and a 2015 F250. Any others? I mean, that's a lot easier DSP to use. Let's call it that for sure. No, I mean, that's a good choice. There's a ton of DSPs now, but that's a good one, so I'm not going to sit here and try to talk you out of it. With install. Yeah, I mean, that's I don't really, so you gotta understand, all right, when it comes to like pricing things out, I don't get involved in pricing. How we work it here is that Fernando or I will talk to you depending on your criteria, and usually that means whether you speak English or Spanish, or some people just like Fernando more than they like me, which is fine with me, right, Fernando? Mm-hmm. Yep. And then what we do is we'll design the system, we'll figure out what you want to do, we'll try to get their idea as far as like your budget, because we have to have an idea as far as how much something costs or how much you're willing to spend, because I don't want to sit here and put together this really badass system that's going to cost you, let's say 5 to 8 grand, and you really only want to be like $3,500. So we have to go back and figure that out. That gives us a starting point as far as what we're looking to do, and then from there we pass it over to Paul. Paul puts together the price, and then you figure it out from there as far as how everything else is going to go. Sometimes we'll have to go back in and we'll have to figure out, make adjustments here and there depending on budget constraints. But for the most part, when we're done talking to you, the system we're going to give you should be exactly what you want. And from there, you kind of got to make that thing work, because, you're asking for a specific thing and we're giving you that. That's what it means to have a custom design system. What's up with those? Oh, okay. Look at you. Oh, look at Fernando getting all crazy on this. There he goes. So we got this step stool so that we could get up to those. However, this truck is really tall. And so we got some split tube. I don't remember what those came with, but we saved them because we knew we were going to need them at some point. Nice. I think really all you need to concentrate on is this and this, because this is what's going to be up against the truck. I don't think the front's going to be...
Well, it's going to be like this.
Oh, is that what you're going for?
Yeah.
Okay. So you need something here. And that's why you guys are the best. See you soon. Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but we try. You guys need a Rockford van to drive to Arizona. No, we don't. we don't. No, thank you. You want to drive to Arizona, Fernando?
No.
Yeah.
That's tempting, but
Once every 5 years is probably enough. I mean, don't get me wrong. We would probably that's pipe insulation. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not a wacky noodle or anything, but yeah, it's pipe insulation. I mean, because all right, so the idea was, if you have one of those panel things, where you can set your door panels on and stuff like that, it has the padding on it, which is awesome. So we got to make sure that it closes still.
Huh?
You got to make sure that it still
that's
closes.
That's what I put zip tie, so I can cut it and still close it.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, let's just make sure it closes, and we won't have to worry about cutting the zip ties, because we need a permanent fix. Alpine versus JBL speakers. Drive through Texas is hell. Exactly, Markland. How you doing, buddy? All right, see if it closes. Just see if it closes. Amuse me.
Not right now.
Oh, you suck. From Florida all the way to Arizona, it's too far. I mean, this guy's from Texas, so I mean, it's just a matter of perspective. I need a good tuner in Ventura, California. I mean, there's a lot of them. Check out what's Gary Bell's place? I know, right? I can never remember his place. Just look up Gary Bell on Instagram or on Facebook.
Sound Innovation?
Sound Innovations. Could be. No? That doesn't sound right. I don't know. Clearwater to Stillwater was a lot. Yes, it was, Christian. I'm going from Chicago. There you go. Define Concepts. Thank you, Elias. Elias Sunprice. Yeah, check those out. He's pretty good with the tuning, I've heard. That's like falling off a roof for Fernando.
Yes. Yeah.
What he really wants is the big one that has like the bed that just kind of hovers over the cars, where you just kind of like lay on it and work on it. That's what he's going for. And at some point I'll probably buy it for him, because why not? Texas is so big it can be its own country. I was actually watching that the other day where somebody said that. It is. Gary Bell's podcast is so good. Yes, it is. And they just came out with season 2. What's the name of their podcast? Him and Maddie's?
Old Fashioned?
The Old Fashioned. That's it. Old Fashioned podcast. It's about car audio. It's pretty awesome. It's nice because they're doing a podcast and I don't have to. And they do a pretty good job at it. They interview a bunch of guys from the industry. Last season was really nice. Nick Wingate was on there and talked for 3 hours. Wow. It was a tough one. I think that took me like 2 weeks listening to it while I was running to get through it. That's not right, bro. Jeremy Carlson is the first one in this week. He's a Florida guy, so pretty excited. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I'll probably download it onto my watch and use it for running later this week. So you guys going to get boat parts today? Have fun with that. Bust out another 1,000 for sure. Well, all right, guys, that's what we got going on in our bay. Lots of fun and excitement Fernando playing in a tree fort. We'll tune in tomorrow. We'll show you the conclusion of the GMC. We'll let you see all the pieces back together. Maybe we'll let you listen to it if we're at that point when we come back on. Hopefully we will be, because we'd like to get it back to the customer. And for now, you guys have a great day. Make sure you head over to YouTube and check out the videos on the IRTA2. And let us know what you think in the comments. As always, that's what we like. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye. Sit. Live. Don't go too crazy.
No. Okay.
Just get the greasy off.
That's what I was trying to get it.
Oh, which reminds me. Grab the keys off. So, pro tip of the day, Fernando. Pro tip of the day.
Buy allergy pills.
I have allergy pills. I keep offering them. You keep saying no.
You didn't offer me nothing.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, when you're working with one of these push to start cars where you gotta leave the key in the car, don't leave the key in the car. Put the car. Put the car up on the dash. Put the key up on the dash. Up outside on the windshield, underneath the windshield wipers. Don't put them in a place where the windshield wipers can flick them, right?
Oh, totally.
Or if you close the hood, it'll crush it. So put it in a safe spot, and then don't forget about them. Driving away is.
That car? Don't remember.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's life lessons. It's all about life lessons. You screw up 2 or 3 times. If you live through it, well, you're probably going to be okay. Well, if you don't learn, you're just stupid.
Oh, stupid.
You're the worst. All right, so we just got done doing the final tune. Actually, we've been at it for about 2 hours now. So I haven't even pulled this out. The seat is back in.
It is.
The seat is back in. The subwoofer. Hold on, let me get that here.
Thank you. I just tried
could you take that? All right, I don't want to show you guys that yet, so hang on a second. Let me get the USB out. All right. Yep. Thank you. All right. So for a sub, this is the sub he brought. It has a single square. Square, right? Yeah. It's got a single square subwoofer in it from Kicker. Okay. Seats down. Yeah, got the seats down. This is the thing I really like about these cars, is this. Here is the amplifier mounted in place. Turn on a light. And there we go. So the Audison is mounted right there. You can easily get to all the switches and the USB. Then over on this side is our 750.1. There again, can easily get to the gain controls. Our 2 fuses are mounted right where we need them to be. Factory bracket, so it goes that way. And there we go. That's what you end up with. So it's like a hidden fuse panel / I don't know. I just really think this is fun. I like this design that they've done. I mean, I agree with that thought process on the downfiring thing, but I feel like downfiring woofers are doing a lot better. Plus, this is sitting on a grill, which gave it a lot of room, and trust me on this one, it puts out a ton of bass. It's not, why didn't that flip? It's not doing a bad job. But no, I felt the same way, and I feel a lot of boxes that these companies build don't do a good enough job moving the woofer up away from the floor. I feel a good inch and a half is what you need, and sometimes you just don't get that. But there we go. Amps are mounted in place. Seat is back in. Hold on, let me grab the microphone. The microphone was still in the car. Let's take a look at the fuse holder that Fernando did yesterday. And this is what we've come up with here. It bolts onto the factory battery bolt. This, of course, will snap off if need be. And then goes into here.
Oh, that's for you.
Oh, thanks. It goes into this area here. A lot of these batteries have this on there. Don't get them wet. Don't get them wet, guys. Don't get them wet. But there you go. It's a nice, simple bracket. It's attached. It's not going to flop around. You still got the charger plugged in over there. There you go. Yay. There is, if you have one of these new GMCs, like previous GMC Chevy models, there is a place to get through the firewall on the driver's side. You do have to drill a hole though, right?
You have to drill a hole. Yeah.
You gotta drill a hole in this one. You didn't have to in the past. They had the cool grommet, but this one you gotta drill a hole on. It's kind of sad. But this guy is done. Super excited. Super excited to have this one completed. There we go. Push the button. Will you two be going to Mobile Solutions Masterclass Expo? Okay, so let's preface it with like we're supposed to. According to Brian, yes. And that's as far as we've gotten with it. So he says yes. What capacity? We don't know. But according to him, yes. At some point, hopefully, we'll get some clarification on that, and then we'll move on from there. We'll probably get him on one of the shows here shortly for him to talk about it some more. I know he just made a big announcement with Eric from Rock. Eric. Eric. Oh, no, I was in. Teresa, thank you. Eric and Teresa from Rockford. So we'll get him on.
Expo.
Yeah, because they're a key sponsor of the expo, and of course we'll be going there next month, and we'll also be swinging by Mobile Solutions. Friday at 5.
Friday?
Friday at 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have the morning to do stuff, and then Friday at 5. So we'll figure it out.
I'm excited. Good morning.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
Good afternoon.
So, and then I think he said Tom Miller and Gary will be there. Gary Biggs.
I like it. Oh, Gary Biggs, not Gary Bell.
Oh, Gary Bell.
Oh, Gary Bell.
Gary Bell will be there.
Okay.
So the two of them are supposed to be there, he said.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
It'd be nice because I mean we know
Tom
Tom.
was golfing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean we know Tom. Tom's a great guy, but I've only talked to Gary online.
I haven't. No,
I want to meet him in person.
Yeah.
So we can fanboy too, right?
Of course.
I'm a fan.
I'm very fan.
I like these guys. I enjoy meeting these people in person.
Yes, you see their work and it's like, oh my god, and when you talk to them, it's like, so nice.
It's fun, yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah. Tom Miller's the coolest.
He's a cool
I love
guy.
talking
Like,
with that guy.
if you see his work and everything, and you're like,
If you don't know who Tom Miller is, head over to Music Car.
Music Car, yeah.
Music Car is probably here on Instagram, as well as you could probably find it on Facebook. They do awesome work up there in Portland.
Awesome work, yes.
But yeah, definitely check them out.
Yeah.
My car hasn't have a speaker in the door, my car hasn't have a speaker in the door, only 4-inch in the dash. I'm lacking mid bass. What do you think? Add a speaker in the door, make a kick panel. Ooh, I'd be curious to see what kind of car it is, because most of the time, if there's no speaker in the door, it's because there's something in the way.
But no, okay, they have some companies that they make these kick panels. They're like.
Well, some of the older cars they do make kick panels for.
Yeah.
However, you know what I was just thinking?
What do we use?
I was thinking about these guys.
Yeah.
You know, you can get into the Morel Virtus Carbon Nanos.
Yeah.
Virtus Nano Carbons. Sorry, Virtus Nano Carbons. These are the mid bass with the tweeter. This is a component. They also make an Integra version of it. These things, okay, a lot of people go, oh, they're so small. Well, they have mid bass. Yes, they have tons of mid bass. But as you can see, that is the joy of this speaker.
Let me ask you something.
If you've got a flat area.
Is it vinyl in there?
No, you left that vinyl in there. So I'm making some trim rings for him. So literally, if you can make something like this to mount onto the door, you can fit a set of these.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously an air behind them is nice, but you know.
Look at that.
Yeah.
The speaker adapter is bigger than the speaker.
These are kick panels' best friends, or door panels that don't have any depth behind them, or you don't want to cut metal or anything like that. You just want to cut wood. But yeah, these are the way to go. If you want some okay, easy there, Iron Man. Anyways, those would be a great option to solve your issue.
Option, yes.
Southern California in the house.
Oh, I think that's where Gary built.
Yeah, he is. It's a small Toyota Argo. Yeah, that'll work.
That's a small one?
Small Toyota.
Okay.
One of those little Toyotas. That's what I was thinking. Follow up, FY, Kenwood FM radio has a 1 second delay, making it useless for drive, and a portable radio plugged into aux is good workaround. There we go. Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is. I know what it does. It have HD? Because if it has HD tuner in it, that would explain the delay. You may be able to go in and turn off the HD, because HD adds that 1 second delay for the digital buffer. So you may be able to go to the owner's manual, but I think there's a way to turn off HD. So you might want to try that. Just also, but yeah, the aux radio workaround, that's a good idea. So thanks for Phil. So this was the guy that was going to the drive-in, and he was getting a 1 second delay. So he was wondering if he could plug a Walkman into the aux jack. And so he's responding back that yes, you could do that, but I didn't even think about HD tuner. So you may be able to turn that off and solve all your problems, and then turn it back on if you'd like HD.
Right.
So something to think about there. Oscar. Make that 2 from SoCal. Oh God, I love California. 2014 RAV4 ILX W650 AM does not work, but something else works correctly. Is there some hidden setting on the ILX to change? I'm using the Crux set. No. The problem is, okay, here's the problem. FM, AM tuners in general are becoming, no one uses them. And by no one, I mean majority of the people. Obviously, there's still a percentage of people out there that use them for like drive-ins or for that AM station that you so desperately like to listen to. What I would suggest doing is, instead of trying to listen to go to, they're going to have a channel on the internet that you can listen to it on. I know streaming it on your phone kind of sucks, but what is the name of the streaming HD radio, or the radio? Gosh, man, my brain has just been mush lately. Cox. No, not Cox. There's the app you can use to listen to local radio. See, you don't even know.
I don't listen to radio.
I don't listen to radio either. But there's, man, because we listen to the Lightning games on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when we're going to Orlando, we lose. No. It's an app for your phone. And I can't find it right now. But anyways, I would try seeing if iHeartRadio. Thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
iHeartRadio still around?
Yes. Yes, it is.
What?
Try iHeartRadio and see if your channel's on there and just stream the AM. Is it fine to use window sealant type between the speaker and the door? Foam, you mean? If you're talking about foam, foam's foam. As long as it doesn't bend the speaker, you can use any foam you want. If you're going to put it on the outside like a fast ring, yeah, you can use, like, there again, foam is foam. There's fast ring foam or this foam. Foam is foam, man. Let's just call it that. We don't even need foam is foam.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Foam is foam.
Yes, iHeartRadio. Yeah. Sorry, man. I'm still not recouped from these last couple weeks between audio control, kicker, Disney, and then just last weekend, it was like the first time I had a minute to kind of like rest, and I didn't really have time to rest because it was Sue's birthday weekend. Because her birthday weekend is this weekend, but we have another friend of ours that's having a birthday this weekend, and so we're gonna go do that because he's a kid, and it's way more fun to do kids' birthdays. So we did Sue's birthday last week. Needless to say, I just haven't been able to catch up from all of this, and I feel I'm kind of lacking.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm kind of
fighting a lot. Woo! 2 weeks in a row.
It's like 3 weeks in a row. What are you talking about?
Look at you, old party guy.
Dude, you did 2 weeks in a row too. What are you talking about? I mean, you partied all last weekend too for football. You had a double header. Your wife's team and your team were playing each other.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
They won.
Yeah, wife's team. Have you done a replacement of radio in the Lexus IS250? Honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember. However,
not a radio. No. Not the radio.
Not the radio?
No.
Okay.
Not the radio. Well, it depends what year.
It also depends what year. What's a Lexus? So who makes the dash kit for that? What's the one we do with the SC430? What's that?
Connects to?
No. The kit we buy.
Shoot.
See, the difference is I know it and can't remember it. You stare at it all the time and you just forget it in general.
Yeah.
It's so sad. So sad. You're not. It's
No,
2006. Metro may have
makes
parts
that,
for
yeah,
that.
but
It's
no.
MetroOnline.com. They may have parts for that. Spiral really does. No, it's the company that does the Lexus parts. We did the freaking video on it. It's the.
Hang on, if you keep talking, I can't focus.
You couldn't focus if I was. You couldn't focus in a dark room. Have you guys done a video on how to sound deadened doors? Seriously? Yeah, a bunch of them. If you want one specific, we do have one on the Ground Zero door kit, which is you could do a search for it probably just ground. It's the part number is the GZDM door kit. But yeah, we have one on. I mean, most videos that we do in the big series videos have.
Beatsonics.
Thank you, Beatsonic.
There you go. See.
Check out beatsonic.com for that dash kit. See if they have anything, because they're the Lexus guys. Also, back to the sound treatment. Most of the long videos we have, like where it's the whole car, you're going to see some form of a part of the video talking about putting sound treatment on the door. But one video we did specifically about sound treatment is the Ground Zero door kit. So
What speakers did the truck get? That truck.
This got Focal Ks. So that's like the entry-level K2s, if you want to call them that, because it's like kind of saying the entry-level Rolls Royce. It's kind of a
Rolls Royce.
It's a Rolls Royce. So, but you got the Ks. Set of 6.5 components up front, coaxials in the rear. It's all powered off of the Audison Forza, and then the 750.1, which we showed you at the beginning. The GM18 won't let me turn off the crossover. Won't let me put 0 as a number. That is correct. It will not do that. It is always focused at 20 or 25 on the low end, 20 on the high end, and it will either do 12 or 24. It's okay, man. Just set it to that number and put it to 12, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. There's no sound past that point anyways. Now, if you're trying to do, like, if you're one of those SPL guys that wants to do 20 hertz all the time, then no, that is not going to work for you, because that's going to be a 12 dB, 25 hertz subsonic filter as a minimum, which won't affect you if you're a normal person. It won't give you any. It'll be nice. It'll actually make the amplifier not work as hard because it's a subsonic filter, and you're not doing anything of significance past that. And when you look at it on a meter, it's almost nothing, and that's what matters.
It's 12 already?
Don't make fun of me. I don't make fun of anybody.
Lies.
I don't. I make fun of everybody.
What sub box is recommended for a 2021 Tundra Crew Cab? 4 doors. Crew Max.
Oh, you know who has? Foxbox has one. Fox Acoustic has one. Fox Acoustic has one. Did you see Gately just came out with a Tundra box? Bobby Gately just came out with a 4/8 Tundra box. It comes with 4 seat brackets to move the seat forward like 3 inches. It has 4. Yeah. Wow. So yeah. Go to Gately. Go to Bobby Gately on Instagram here and check it out. It's the last post he did. Holy God, that thing's gonna be amazing. But you could probably fit it in a crew. Yeah. So check that out.
XS or Optima? Don't really want to spend too much.
We use Stinger.
A lot of people like XS.
So the Optima, I would go no. I would go no on the Optima. I mean, if you're trying to get something for your stereo, do the XS. That's what it's for. The Optima, if you can get a good deal on one, you want a yellow top. The red top is for start. The yellow top is for accessories. The blue top is for marine. Don't use the blue top in a car unless you have like 25 amp draw. Gately. Oh yeah, Gately all the way. Thank you so much for pointing me to Gary Bell. He was the missing link to my system. Called him yesterday about tuning the system. Awesome. Make sure you tell him we sent you, because I like it when he complains that we send people to him.
To who?
Gary.
Gary
Bell.
Oh, Gary Bell.
Yeah, he goes, I hate it when Dean customers come in. They always ask for pretty wiring. He does pretty wiring. Don't get me wrong. He just
he does an amazing job.
yeah, he does great install.
Yeah.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, Gary Bell, which a lot of people don't know, he's on the podcast with Matt Schaefer, the old-fashioned podcast, car stereo thing. But his, like, the thing that you guys would be like, oh my gosh, if you ever saw Alpine's BMW, the 6 Series.
Yeah.
What's it called? It's got a name. One of you guys is going to know the name. He built that car.
Yeah.
And it's literally on the tip of my tongue, and I cannot see what I'm saying. I need to get some sleep. I need some sleep to just kind of recharge my batteries. But I know one of you guys know what it's called. I just bought a 2021 Acura TLX. The battery's in the trunk. What amp should I put? Sinister 6. Thank you. I knew somebody would know it.
John Ball knows.
He built that car. And on the podcast, he tells like he's built other cars for them. That's his.
He's built a lot.
You've seen the Sinister 6.
Yes.
Yeah. We both saw it at the same time. It was in Daytona one year. You didn't work for me then.
No, at that time, no.
No, you were still slumming it. Okay, I just bought a 2021 Acura TLX. The battery's in the trunk. What amp should I put? Just a subwoofer. It also has stop start. If you're just gonna do like one sub or something that'll work with 500 watts, our favorite go-to stop start. In that you're still gonna have to disable the ANC, which my guess is the modules above the glove box. That's where it seems to have been on every single Honda Acura car in the last 4 or 5 years. Is a little silver box, yay big, and the plug faces into the engine compartment, but it's right up top. If you see the the Accord video we've done, you've seen us unplug it. Anyways, the Key 501 would be a great amp. It has stop start compliant. It has de-equalization. You can add a bass boost. It works great in those factory applications where you're just going to put like a 10 or a 12 in the back, or 2 10s. It's 500 watts, so it's a decent enough power to power, and it's also very small. So I would check that out.
Hey guys.
Also, if you do want to go something bigger, any of the CS kicker amplifiers like the 801 are also stop start compliant. They'll work down to 8.5 volts. So if you just want something bigger than that, you can go with that. I remember that one. It was an awesome car. It had a turret in it that you'd basically sit in it and then it would spin around and put you in the front. We're talking about the Sinister 6, yeah. Somebody bought that. That popped back up because somebody bought it and they were rebuilding it or redoing it or updating it.
What I saw some pictures of the SUV, the BMW
yeah.
SUV.
Yeah. But I think in that same article, someone was talking about how they found the Sinister 6. I just think it sucks. Like a lot of those, like it would have been really nice to save a lot of those cars. See, the problem is when manufacturers get done with them, they just offload them to anybody that wants them. And like that car is unsellable. It's like it's not made for driving. It was a damaged car to begin with. It needed to be in a museum. Like that would be awesome in the Peterson Museum.
So what Kicker does with all their cars is pretty neat. They keeps like, well, I guess most of the cars.
Those are just special cars. The ones in the museum, those are just special cars.
No,
they
but
still
that's
sell
my point.
off.
That wasn't special cars.
That would have been nice
like
to keep
special
those.
car just to keep it. And
right, but not everyone has that giant facility like Kicker has. So
what the heck?
Or wants to pay for a storage unit to put all their cars in. But yes, I feel like. Like the Dodge Ram, that's just going to get sold off at some point.
Oh, yeah. Well, but that's not that special. You know, it's just... It's still special now because we drove it.
Exactly, and that would add value to it. You know, that would be the story. Someone could do like a really cheap documentary of finding the history of... Dean farted in the Fernando farted in the sea. What are you talking about? Exactly. Adding jail audio stealth box in a 2007 Yukon XL. Sorry. What is the best way to add amplifier? Find the sub output and go connect to it?
Yeah, if it has a sub output.
My guess is if it's an XL, it has a subwoofer in it in the center console. If it has the sub in the center console, just pull up the cup holders. On the right side of the cup holder, there's going to be a harness that goes that way. It's going to have 4 or 6 wires in it. There's going to be a dark blue, green, and a dark green, blue. Those are your subwoofer wires. They're going to be taped up. You can pull the tape back. Just tap into one of them. You don't have to tap into both. It's a dual voice gold subwoofer. They're both getting the same signal. And that would be what you'd want to tap into. Otherwise, the sub would be in the back corner where the factory is, and you'd want to tap into that.
Yeah. When you bypass what? When you bypass an amplifier,
Oh, when you bypass an amplifier to speakers, do you leave the other plug in? 2021 F250, 2012 F150 center console.
Oh, we normally make a T-harness.
We usually make a T-harness. For that one, you can get a T-harness. PAC makes a T-harness for that one. It's like an AP something T-harness. So if you just
go to the PAC audio.
Yeah, they make a T-harness for that. But yes, we don't leave anything out of a car. So the harnesses always go back in because at some point it all has to be reversible. So if we try to make a T-harness, obviously we can't always make a T-harness. If we can't make a T-harness, then it needs to go back in a way, or it needs to be done in a way that it can be reversible if someone needs it to be reversible. So either soldering the wires together or connecting them in some way is the best action to take. Yeah. You good?
Yeah.
For front mids and tweeters,
okay.
When running passive, is it better to run a two-way passive crossover than running parallel with a cap? All right, hold on. For front mids and tweeters, when running passive, is it better to run a two-way passive crossover than running parallel with a cap?
I'm thinking like.
So are you
with a cap?
Or in some case, like we've seen those guys that like.
So you use.
So that, you know the ones like when the mid bass is in the door and the tweeter's in the car, and they just put a cap on the tweeter and they don't put the passive crossover in, and they just let the mid range run full because it's.
So you use the passive crossover for the mid bass, and then you just put the cap in the tweeter.
No, they don't even use the crossover.
So technically, it's like an active.
No, it's not. It's just because they're putting a cap on it. They're putting a cap on the tweeter instead of running the passive crossover that it requires. Okay, I get what I mean. We've seen that enough.
Yeah.
I mean, if the capacitor is the right value for the tweeter, then yes, you could do that. However, I would run the passive crossover just because it's more than likely going to give you some form of attenuation. And most passive crossovers have a top for the mid-range, meaning they limit how high up that the mid-range can play so that it will blend in with the tweeter and you won't get cancellation. That's more the reason why you do it. If it's a situation like we described where the mid-bass is in the door, which is just like this, so for example, if you have a vehicle like this where your mid-bass is here and your tweeter is in here, and you're like, where do I put the passive crossover? Put the passive crossover in here or behind the radio. The wire, depending on your situation, but remember, it's real easy to use this wire and then run a second wire up here. So like in a Toyota, it comes out of the radio, goes into the dash, and down to here. Both your wires are there, the feed that comes in and the feed that goes down to here. You can grab the feed that comes in and go into your passive crossover and then run it back up, and that'll for the mid bass, and that'll come into here, and then run a second wire up to the tweeter. So, I mean, that's how we would do it. If that is any, Bose system sub and center console. Yeah, so do what I told you. Grab the dark green, or dark blue-green wires in underneath the cup holder. Any tuning tips for Focal FDP line amps? JL Media Master Source Unit FD F.6 Focal flax three-ways with passives. Yeah, I mean, not really. It's just standard crossover and gain settings.
Mm-hmm. There's no DSP, right?
Yeah, it's no DSP. They do put out rated power. So if you wanted to use math to set your gains, you can. If you have a oscilloscope or DD1, you could also do that. That's really about it. Yeah, I got nothing. Great explanation. Thanks for the input. All right, and with that, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. We got to get back to work. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you head over to YouTube. We did put up 3 videos the other day on the new IRTA2 that we're going to be selling, hopefully starting next month. I have no idea where we're going to put it. Here it is. The IRTA2 is a 2-channel summing device. Or well, it's not just a summing device, but it is
It's an RTA.
It's an RTA. So it is, okay, let me rephrase that. It is a tool that allows you to use the RTA on your iPad, or if you have...
If you download an iPad.
Yeah. And that will give you, all right, tell you what, just go watch the videos. You'll figure out what it is, and then, of course, you'll want it. And with that, guys, thank you so much, Fernando.
Bye, guys.